Hello guys, my name is Dolapo and I'm a senior partner at the Unotech Media Group. Now we've been privileged to work on so many political campaigns in the past, and I feel like some of the experiences we have garnered over the years can be really useful to a lot of political campaigns, candidates and political parties. This vlog is about election branding and in particular visual language and consistency for political campaigns. Now, what's a visual language? It's a visual language helps to tie all your campaign elements together, and helps people easily understand what your message is. Now, when it comes to visual language, there are a few elements that you need to choreograph together to create that language, and it consists of things like color, fonts, design style, photography, and most especially your party logo. Now, the issue is that most of these elements, in most of the campaigns I've seen, all turn out to be very inconsistent and very rowdy, and in fact it creates a lot of noise. It creates a lot of riot. And the problem with this sort of riot is that people have very low attention span when looking at outdoor material, and if they can't easily see something that they can identify and recall, then you're losing out a lot. So it's very important for your campaign to create a consistent color system. You pretty much need to look for one color that aligns with your message, your campaign message, and then stay consistent with that color so that you can easily build equity with your campaign. Also, the color should be used consistently across all your channels, all your materials, so be it your billboards, your posters, your flyers, your blames, or whatever, what have you. You need to use that consistent color, across all your materials. Also, with typography, fonts, it's also important to stick to one single font for everything you're doing. And then on to messaging. Now, with messaging, I see a lot of campaign material bearing so many different kinds of messages that don't even relate to each other. They say so many different things on so many billboards, so many posters, but it is very important to stick to just one message. In outdoor, typically the rule is not to exceed 4 to 5 words for a billboard or a poster, but I would even say to stick to 2 to 3 words. So summarize your entire campaign messaging into just 3 words, and then use those 3 words consistently across all your campaign materials. What this does is that it then helps people to be able to easily recognize your campaign and recognize your brand when they see it, because you just stick into those few words, and then you start building some form of equity in their minds. Also, with the campaign portraits, so I see a lot of candidates, so they just go take a portrait and just smack it on all their materials. Your pictures have to also speak your message, so if what you're speaking is hope, vision, or change, or whatever it is, your portraits need to align to those values. And as they say, a picture speaks 1,000 words. So you got to put so much intentionality when you're taking portraits, and use those portraits across all your channels, so be it the billboards or the flyers, and be consistent with it. Also, the party logo is always missing in so many materials. So when I say missing, I mean it's lost. It looks so small on one small end. But what people don't realize is that what you really vote for, what people vote for, is the party, not the candidate. So it's very, very important to give so much prominence to the party logo. Now, what all these consistency does is that it starts building you some form of equity from every material that people encounter. So let's say someone sees a billboard now, and then they see a poster tomorrow, and then they see another billboard tomorrow. Each of those encounters starts building up and adding up, to some form of recall and recognition for you, as opposed to you having so many different materials that are not choreographed together. So once you have that consistency, you start to build equity, you start to build trust, you start to build recognition and recall. It also helps you to really squeeze the most value for your money spent, because when you don't have consistency, you just have to create so much stuff that is so inefficient. Also, in marketing theory, usually people would have to encounter your brand in 8 different touch points for it to start getting some register in their minds. Now, if they encounter those materials and they've seen so many different things, it will end up not registering in their minds, and there won't be any brand recall, because nothing ties all those things together, and it doesn't create any form of equity in their minds. So if you have consistent materials, now all those encounters with those touch points start to build you some serious equity. And when anybody says, oh, what's the first political party that comes to your mind, they then mention your brand, or what's the first candidate, so it starts creating some form of brand recall. Okay, so guys, thanks for watching this video. Please like and subscribe to our channel. Also share the video, and ask any questions you have in the comments box below. You can also give any comments, and I'll be there in the comments section to answer questions and to also follow the comments.